Have you ever just paused and wondered, what if reality actually isn't unique? What if the timeline we experience every single day is just one of countless parallel possibilities existing side by side? Hello and welcome. Today, we're jumping right into a rather profound question about the very nature of our universe and, quite frankly, the absolute limits of human perception. Welcome to this explainer on the Conceptual Dictionary of Alternate Realities. We are bridging the highly abstract physics of multiple timelines with the specific, precise language you'd actually need to describe them. I mean, think about it. If you were suddenly thrust into a different world state, how would you even begin to articulate what you were seeing? Let's find out together. Here is our agenda for today. First, the nature of reality. 2, recording different timelines. 3, shifts in power dynamics. 4, navigating new world states. And finally, reacting to the unknown. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the nature of reality. To truly grasp this, we have to look at catastrophe theory. It's a scientific concept suggesting that highly critical situations offer radically different, viable alternatives for a macroscopic system's progression. It's like a complex system reaching an absolute boiling point. Instead of just continuing on its predictable path, this crucial event acts as a massive catalyst that completely alters the system's trajectory forever, instantly opening up multiple viable realities. In practice, the whole process flows exactly like this. We start off in a unified state 1, then, within minutes, a critical event triggers the bifurcation point. That's an absolute juncture where a scenario could go one of two ways. From that precise point, reality literally splits. You get alternative state A developing in one direction, while alternative state B evolves on a completely unique trajectory. Both are equally real, just entirely parallel to one another. Moving on to Section 2, recording different timelines. This brings us to our very first essential phrase. To document a timeline shift, you can't just give a quick summary. You absolutely need a blow-by-blow account. This means providing a meticulously detailed, sequential description of a complex event exactly as it unfolds. When you are tracking something unpredictable and catastrophic, absolute precision is a necessity. Literally every microsecond counts. The crucial thing is how this mirrors microscopic physics. Take a blow-by-blow account of a quantum transition. Step 1, an electron exists in a state of higher energy. Step 2, a pulse of radiation impacts the system. Step 3, the electron abruptly transitions to a state of lower energy. Now, in physics, transitions like this are super common on a microscopic level. But just imagine having to apply that exact same blow-by-blow rigor to a macroscopic reality that has just jumped into a completely new state. But there is a massive danger when observing new realities, which introduces our next phrase, doctored accounts. These are records or histories that have been deliberately manipulated or falsified. Very often you'll find just a tiny germ of truth buried deep within them. If a reality has shifted, the historical records of that reality might be completely unreliable to an outside observer. Notice the direct contrast here. On the one side, we have the true quantum state. That's an objective, definitive observation of an energy transition, just like our blow-by-blow electron example. On the other side, we have the altered state, which is a manipulated narrative masking the actual transition. This cements exactly why critical, objective observation is so incredibly vital. You simply cannot rely on doctored accounts if you want to understand the true nature of a bifurcated world. Which leads us to Section 3, shifts in power dynamics. In the winning trajectory of a newly formed reality, you will inevitably witness a morale booster. We define this as a significant event or catalyst that rapidly increases confidence, enthusiasm, and provides extra impetus to a group or system. When a highly critical situation breaks favorably for one side of a system, the psychological and energetic impact is both immediate and profound. Just look at the impact on system energy here. The pre-catalyst energy remains stable, maybe even a bit stagnant, but the post-catalyst event acts as a massive morale booster and triggers this sudden enormous spike in overall system energy. It provides that much-needed extra impetus that completely dictates the prevailing dynamics of the new world state. But, as we know, physics demands balance. For every force that surges forward, another must be relegated to the background. This idiom, relegated to, means to be systematically dismissed to an inferior rank, a background position, or a state of obscurity. This is the natural, completely unavoidable consequence for elements of a system that lose their momentum when a new reality takes form. This elegantly connects our two phrases, doesn't it? In any shifting macroscopic system, while some prevailing forces receive a morale booster, opposing forces are systematically relegated to the background. It's a perfect and escapable equation of shifting power. One side spikes, and the other simply fades into obscurity. Section 4. Navigating New World States. Now consider these 3 phrases as your survival guide for navigating a new reality. First, one must be astute. That means being clever, perceptive, and quick to understand new parameters, such as recognizing the dawn of sudden technological shifts. Second, you need political acumen. This is strategic judgment, the ability to systematically expand your influence across this newly formed domain. And finally, you absolutely must identify the de facto leaders. These are the underlying forces exercising real power, regardless of their official status. In so many altered systems, a symbolic figurehead sits right there in plain sight, while the de facto powers quietly pull the strings from the background. Finally, Section 5. Reacting to the unknown. When faced with a world that defies all known logic, an observer will inevitably give vent to their feelings. This phrase means to forcefully and freely express a strong emotion, opinion, or frustration, especially against a hostile or bewildering situation. When the very fabric of reality changes beneath your feet, quiet contemplation is quite literally impossible. You simply must speak out. I absolutely love how this quote from a nameless observer brings the whole thing together. They said, "To experience a reality where all known physical laws are relegated to the background is maddening. An observer cannot help but give vent to their absolute shock." This brilliantly highlights how you might actually use our newly acquired vocabulary to process a sudden, catastrophic state transition. It's shocking, it's bewildering, and for sure, it demands forceful expression. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. If you transitioned to a completely bifurcated world state tomorrow, would you have the vocabulary to describe it? Today, in this explainer, we've explored the profound catastrophe theory and mastered 8 very powerful phrases, from identifying doctored accounts to recognizing de facto power. You are now intellectually equipped for the unknown. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep questioning your reality and keep learning.